Hi, I'm Mark S. King, and hello to everybody at the New Gay. I'm here because December 1st is World AIDS Day. Now, before you press delete or go running off, I know that HIV is so 10 years ago, but stick with me because this is important stuff, and once a year it's important to kind of think about this, right? I know we get conflicting messages all the time. On the one hand, you hear people with HIV are living a long life, it's like diabetes, and then you also hear, don't get HIV or you'll die. Well, of course, like with all things, everything is true a little bit. And let's just talk about that. For gay men, for instance, we are still the largest group of people being infected with HIV in this country. It hasn't gone down, it's actually gone up. And that's important. What we do about it is the answer in terms of whether we're going to live or die with HIV is how we respond to it. For instance, a couple of months ago, I got an email from my friend Patrick. And he's emailing me from the hospital where he tells me he has AIDS. Now, I didn't even know he was positive, and it turns out he didn't know he was positive because he'd never had an HIV test. This was just bizarre to me because he was very sick with pneumonia, with the kind of thing that we used to get back in the 80s. And here he had it as if he was living in 1985 because he'd never gotten an HIV test. It was bizarre and it was sad because Patrick lived for a couple of weeks and then died. And it was such a senseless tragedy. I was so angry at him for never having gotten an HIV test. And he was just afraid. And he was afraid of the disease, but he was also afraid of the kind of stigma, that we associate with being HIV positive, the way we kind of treat each other in our community, those with HIV and stuff. And so he didn't want anything to do with it, but as a result, he died. And so, please get tested. I guess that's what it comes down to. I'm asking you to think about this. And I don't mean like, oh, I got tested 2 years ago kind of tested. I mean, every 4 to 6 months. If you're having sex, you should be getting tested. It's so important because there's so much that can be done. But, you're living in 1985 if you're not getting tested, and you could be dying in it too, like Patrick did. So in his memory, I ask that you think about that. And that's about it, other than, World AIDS Day is a time to remember that there is a crisis in our whole, not just our community, but worldwide. And that's about it. Please get tested and be respectful to one another and love one another. Thanks a lot. Happy World AIDS Day. I guess happy. I mean, it's kind of stupid. Happy World AIDS Day. It's like commemorate. It's more like commemorate World AIDS Day. It sounds AIDS Day.